This one, I'll explain as
You
we
have
go.
to explain it.
I'll
You have to
explain
explain
what
it.
I came up with last night, in the middle of the night when I can't sleep. I do think about this place.
I trust me. Okay.
I'd like to call the Merit System Commission to order. It is 9:01, April 16th, 2025. You got to read the minutes, so approved?
Roll call.
Yes, please.
Mr. Cappy,
Hello.
Mr. Watts,
Here.
Mrs. Delph, Mrs. Wasty,
Here, I'd like to excuse Mrs. Dell
Second?
and enroll.
Mr. Watts,
Yes.
Mr. Cappy,
Yeah.
Mrs. Wasty.
Yes. Okay, first off, we're going to go through the fire lieutenant promotional process. If you want to explain how everything went. Good morning.
We recently completed the lieutenant promotional process with the interview, and that was following the assessment center and the written exam. They both completed. We have final ranking scores. Number two.
Okay, I make a motion to certify the police or fire lieutenant promotional assessment center. May I have a
I will
second?
second the motion.
And a roll.
Mr. Cappy,
Yes.
Mr. Watts,
Yes.
Mrs. Wasty.
I'd like to make a motion to release all three names for the next process.
Second?
And a roll.
Mr. Watts,
Yes.
Mr. Cappy,
Yes.
Mrs. Wasty.
Yes.
I have a question for the chief. How long do you want to hold this list now?
And we're just hiring one, or promoting one, yeah. Okay.
But if there was a problem within the next year, you're comfortable with holding this list for a year? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, next item is last month, we certified the entry-level list, and I did not realize that we made a mistake, that the registration isn't ended. He'd like to, it was listed as ending when position was filled, which it hasn't been filled yet, or they have not been filled. And he would like to extend that date to June 1st. And from what I understand, on June 1st, it can be closed and reopened, what, a half hour, hour later? To accept.
So we picked July 1st, and
Oh.
they would have to go down for 72.
Okay, we could leave it to July 1st.
Yeah.
But for now, since last month we closed it because we certified it, we need to redo it to the point where we certify the names that are on it now, and then next month, if there are more names, we'll certify those names to continue on the list until July 1st.
So this is different practice for what Tommy experienced in the past, and maybe we need to catch him up.
In the past, we gave a test, we certified it was closed.
Yes.
Now we are leaving the process open because what the chief has found is that personnel graduate from high school and they get their, or college, and they're looking for a job now, not when we decide to give a test.
So a few months ago, a year ago, we got with Martina. Martina agreed we changed some of the merit service rules. Some of the rules, the existing rules, allowed for what we wanted to do, but at the basis of it was we wanted to have a job description open, take applications and leave it open until filled, and just kind of run it on a continuous basis because we've had continuous vacancies for so long. The open competitive exam can be anything. It doesn't have to be a written test like we've had in the past with NTN or Dr. Dom or anything else. And the police department for years has used, for some of our stuff, a scored interview process, a panel, scored interview panel. And that does absolutely, under ORC, qualifies for the open competitive exam. So what we've determined a few months ago was that we wanted to continuously accept applications until position was filled, and use the board interview as the first step for the test. You guys would get those lists, updated lists monthly. You could either certify that list each month, or you could wait until a 6-month period or so was over and then certify the entire process, and we could start over. But that's kind of where we're going, and that's different than what we've done in the past, and that probably threw a monkey wrench at you. So either way is fine. I think since we've started down this path for this cycle, Aaron and I forgot the date that we had picked earlier this week, but July 1st or the whatever, around there, we could close it. Merit Service could then certify whatever we've done in the last 6 months, and we could open another process. We have, just to give you an update, we're still taking applications, we're still doing backgrounds. A lot of we had an offer out to a cadet who did not pass the final stages of the background check. So we had to start over with them. We have another one on the hook who's going through the polygraph and background now. But I think he's a full-time student, so we've kind of had to work around some of his scheduling. So the police officer side, lateral entry, we've handed out the personal history questionnaires, and no one's got them back to us. I don't know if they just saw the ad on the internet and used the shotgun method to apply to a bunch of places and weren't really interested, but I don't think anyone's gotten back. We have a couple of officers, entry-level officers in the pipeline. Backgrounds are in progress, but no one to the stage yet where we would.
Ready to fill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't offered anyone a position.
No.
See, that is where I'm going at with certifying monthly, because if you offer them a position, nothing was certified down the road. And we've always certified, incoming people. So I think the monthly basis would be, people that we have, certify those, and then the next month, if you add any more, we would certify those so that we continue with the whole process of knowing what's going on.
We can do whatever makes sense to you,
What do
whatever
you
you feel
think?
comfortable doing.
I
I think
think something you was going to say first.
We're speaking strictly of the entry level in our cadet lists today.
right.
So any discussion about transfer is completely irrelevant to this.
Correct.
Okay. So, do we hire from certified lists? Do we make offers from certified lists?
We always have. Every list, every test had to be certified
Yes.
afterwards. So that's why I'm saying, if we certify them on a monthly basis, we can still keep it open.
Right.
But if you would offer one of those persons a job, it would still be certified before it was offered, instead of skipping a step. And I think that would work.
I've got a couple of things. I'm not opposed to doing this at all.
Okay.
But I got a couple of things. One, we run ads in the paper. How long do we expect the ads to carry through?
This one will be 6 months, to July 1st.
So they don't. So they hit the paper the original time. They're on most of the kids use websites now, the Indeed and the Monsters, and some of the other Police One websites. They all grab that information. It gets stale, so we do need to close it and open it again, kind of frequently, to get the name out there. But we also go around to the academies and recruit. So the fact that it's not fresh on Indeed or Monster.com isn't a huge concern because we are hitting all the academies and the Facebook pages and that kind of thing. So it's a concern. We need to do it. Not a priority, not a top priority.
See, the biggest concern following that for us would be X amount of days after our ad has ended, we certify, or we have the test. That's in our rules.
There's no test. The interview is the test, and
Well, there's an X amount of time from the ending of our ad to the interview process. There's that time span has to happen.
I think
That
that,
has-
I think the way the rules are written, that the ad has to be up for 3 weeks, and it doesn't specify a specific time for the test. Because the NTN, when we were using the NTN test, kids could take it from their home in a 4-week period kind of thing.
the ad wasn't closed, and then they took the test. They were taking the test and shopping their scores
Continually,
around.
yeah.
So this way,
Look,
with the interview being the actual test, I mean, they score their interviews. They
I-
ask the questions, score them, and they come out with a number.
my whole concept to this is, I'm like I said, I'm not opposed to doing this that way at all. But guys, this has to transfer over to all 3 departments. This cannot be police only.
So the way the rules are written is that we could still do, any department can still do a 3-week application, advertisement, and then do a written test. It didn't change any of the way anybody wants to do. So if the streets or fire wanted to do it the old school way, they could still do that.
But this way is a lot faster and more economical for you and the city, correct?
Right, yep.
So then why would we not want to do it across the board?
We can. It's just
So-
up
so
to
we-
the department on what method they want to use.
So if Streets is a good example. Streets has one position open because someone retired. They might do the old school method of 3-week ad. We're going to take these applications and we're going to have a written test or a skills test or something. And I think that is a feasible idea to use the old school method. With us, because we've always got these vacancies now, it just doesn't make sense to have these, to sequester all these applications over and over and over again, so.
I mean, it gets expensive. I mean,
Yes.
let's get down to brass tacks. The department, and I'm not singling you out by no means, it's our workforce we have today. The police department has turned over employees like crazy over the last 8 years, and the testing that the city has paid for, the ads that the city's paid for is just astronomical at this point. And eventually, it has to come to a point to where some communities have a rolling application process. I mean, it never stops.
We kind of mimicked ours after one of our neighbors, is what they do, so.
We're not changing our process here today. That would require rules changes and so forth. So we're not suggesting that we change any official processes. So we still must hire from a certified list. Is that correct? So if we follow through and uncertify these 2 lists, you have no ability to hire either an entry level or a cadet. Is that correct?
I think the way the rules are written, you can certify the list at the end if you wanted to.
If we
But see, the
decertify them,
end-
then until we change,
If you would rather have job offers go out after a list has been certified, then you would need to certify the list every month, with the understanding that it would be a continual list for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, that kind of thing.
but the process as it stands now is you don't make offers to candidates who are not on a certified list.
Yes.
And how many names do we put on a list
Okay.
that's given
Well,
to him?
however many that are
This,
qualified.
we saw the list last month.
Yes.
However, we were informed that there were 2 that had not gotten on the list, but they would be on the next one.
Why have they?
So I don't know if they
I
were.
so I left, I was out of town, I printed the list for Andy Parrish before I left, and then some applications came in after the list was printed, and you guys got it.
So the applications came in after the standard processing for that list?
No,
No, they didn't.
the application time was open until July 1st. Okay?
Then why are we certifying anything?
We certified because they're already, they're interviewing as they're going along.
Yeah,
He's scoring them as he's interviewing them.
We're not getting 10 names anymore.
We're not getting.
We're getting 3.
Yeah, when I first started, we ran a test, we had to cut it off at 100.
Right.
Okay? We're not getting that anymore. So we need a ruling. So that the people if he hires the ones in process now, if the list isn't certified, he can't hire them.
right.
Whereas if we certify it month by month, so that he can continue to add those names and interview them, we're still certifying the list, but he's able to add the new applicants to it as they come through.
But at one time, didn't we have, like, for instance, we would give them 10 names. They would go through those 10 names. When people took off of those lists, we would only add from the original back
We
to
would
that
not,
10 names
we would
again.
not add any. Those 10 names released, somebody had to be hired out of those 10 unless they could prove
Right.
that they weren't. But if they had 10 names and 3 of them came back with bad background checks, we did not add 3 more.
At the end, I think if we got down below half because of background issue problems, we would come back to the merit service and get some additional names, so we would have a block of 10
But we
to
had
move forward
to.
with. But there had to be specific reasons.
There had
And
to be
we kept
reasons.
track of those. And I've got, so the list that you guys have didn't have the notes, the reason why some of them failed the backgrounds, that
We
kind of
don't need to
thing.
know that.
And that's why we didn't get it to you. But I have that in front of me, so if anyone had any questions of why stuff was happening or not happening, I mean, I could answer that, but.
Yeah, we just have to have that in the file. I don't know how long you keep the records, but those reasons have to be kept on file in case somebody comes back and says, hey, this wasn't done properly.
So if you want to certify the list on a monthly basis with the understanding that we're going to continue to use that list and add to that list until a 6-month period, I think that's,
See, my question now is, what list are we certifying? Because the list is subject to change.
No.
the list as
List
of,
is the list. When we certify it, that's the list until we change it.
it would be as
Next month.
of a certain date.
Yeah,
A name comes off, a name goes on, or more names go on. What are we certifying?
you're certifying that they
That
went
becomes my
through.
next question. What
We're
the heck are we doing?
certifying the fact that they have started through interviews. They've done the test, they've done the scoring, he's doing the scoring. That's, Martina said, a test can be any number of things. It can be an interview, it can be a written test.
It can be a skills test.
Skills, it
It
can
can be
be-
knowledge, skills, and abilities on a resume, as long as it is fairly evaluated and open to everybody.
I'm just saying, it's getting to a point to where this is a dinosaur. This is not in the current world of hiring,
We're done.
okay? Plain and simple. I'll do whatever you want us to do, but this board is,
We're done.
it's non-effective. It's not effective to what your needs are. Your needs are. Your needs are. It's not effective. I mean, we used to certify, and the whole reason with the certification that we did the list was, at the beginning, is these people applied in a deadlining time. They met the qualifications of the application. We don't do that now. Now we don't, the list that we're having is a growing list monthly. I just don't see this effectively helping his department man his department in a timely manner. And I think everything that we do is for what? I'm curious of where this is going down the road, because I don't see this board helping him in his hiring process. It slows him down.
Why do you say it's slowing him down? He's already interviewed.
Because he's got to wait every month to come back to us to certify a list where he can hire somebody.
He's he's doing the process now from the names we released last time.
But we're fixing to avoid that
We're gonna
list.
cancel
We're
that. and there ain't
avoiding
gonna
it, and
be
we're
any
gonna,
list.
yes, there will, because we're gonna make another motion to certify the list that he has with the new names on it, and then the next month, we'll certify the new list with the new names on it, so he can continue.
Stinks.
I'm trying to make it work.
I understand that.
Well, you can have my vote, but that ain't all.
All right, what do we need to do here today for the,
If you could, so I think that solves the problem today. If we just, you rescind the certification or change your certification to the understanding that you're certifying that list as it exists on that day, and that there will be additional names added to the list as the process continues.
I think that would be more,
We're gonna certify a list with some names. We're not gonna certify a changing list.
Trying to think the best way to make this work. Because if we certify this list, and next month you come back and you've got more names,
what happened to the list we gave him?
we'd have to cancel that,
No.
terminate that list, and then start the new one with the names that qualify.
See? I don't-
Because it takes you longer than a month to do the background check and the interview and
Right.
everything you have to do.
I make a motion that we rescind last April 1st's vote for the full-time and the entry level, or the
Yeah, it's
the entry level and the cadet.
We gotta do it in two motions?
Well,
Do
yeah.
we?
Yeah, we got two items on here.
Yeah. Okay. So item B, I make the motion that we rescind the motion to accept the list for the entry-level police officers.
I'll second. And a roll, please.
Mr. Kempe?
Yes?
Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Mrs. Wasty?
Yes.
I make a motion, we rescind the order for the police cadet entry level, or the entry list.
Seconded?
And a roll, please.
Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Mr. Kempe?
Yes?
Mrs. Wasty?
Yes. Now, before we do anything on the new
We're
list,
done. We're done. That's all that's on our agenda, right?
I would
There is
like,
no new list to certify today,
what about the list he's working with?
He's not done.
but we don't have that.
Okay. Any other business?
We do have the next meeting on May 7th, so whatever we would need to add to the agenda for that meeting, we can
This,
address.
this is not, this is not of any one person's fault, by no means. And I don't want you to take it that way. This is not, this is the times that we're living in. This is what the city of Moraine has to get ready for.
So we absolutely modified some of the merit service rules to include what the ORC allows.
Yeah.
If we, the group, don't like that, don't like this, we can go back to something else. We can work within, I think the merit serve, just because we've done it a certain way for 30 years, doesn't mean that we can't operate within the rules as they exist today and do something slightly different. So if you want something different, we can do it. I don't think you've outlived your purpose. I think there still needs to be a checks and balances to make sure that people aren't getting shafted and that things were done fairly. If it's at the end of a process, I still think there needs to be a checks and balances system, which is what you guys exist for.
But I'm thinking that if we wait till July 1st to certify the whole process from January to July, you technically can't make an offer if somebody comes through all the processes that they need to go through and you want to hire them. You can't hire them unless they're off a certified list.
I think we can make offers
No.
because it's part of, they still have a background check to be completed.
But you can't actually hire them until the list is approved.
They are made conditional offers.
Okay. Conditional offer.
The wording has always been conditional offers. Because there's still several steps. Do you want the list, this current list, we can try to have it wrapped up by May 7th, and you can certify it then if you'd like, and we'll end it, and then we'll come up with a new process, however you want to do it.
Does that work? Let's plan on that.
So we're scrapping the July 1st.
I think that's best until we can figure out a better process that's going to make a little bit more sense.
I think we have to have a meeting with Martina and our rules and our department heads. And I think we need to sit down and iron some stuff. Because this is,
And I think we need that soon.
very sick.
We-
For instance,
Days, not weeks.
the street department, for instance, you mentioned that a while ago. The street department came to us last week, or on April 1st. In order for him to hire somebody right now, it's going to be September, going through the normal processes before he can hire somebody.
True, yep.
Fire department is almost to that same level.
But we also said we would be willing to do
Monthly meetings.
even in between emergency meetings to get this pushed through a little bit further to get these people hired.
That's fine.
That is
but
the problem with pushing it out to September. If we only do monthly meetings, yes, that's what we're looking at.
But what I'm saying, what I'm getting at is if we've got a rolling application for his department, we have to do the same thing with the fire department. We have to do the same thing with the street department. We cannot give them the same opportunity because they're in just as much need as what the police is. I understand, police department, these kids bail in a heartbeat over nothing. But we have to be equal across the board on what we're doing. And in the same manner, we can't slow them down from hiring. All three departments are necessary for this city to function, all three. So it could almost be emergency case situation here. Anytime they want to hire somebody, it could go to emergency situation. And all rules get abandoned at that point.
I believe that's why we've got lateral, and we're trying to work this through.
Lateral with his department
They
only.
all have lateral.
Have you guys tried to use lateral yet?
Yeah, we got one from it, about 2 years ago.
I don't think Streets has done it
The
yet.
streets is not allowed.
I don't
can't
think-
remember how
I think they didn't want it.
correct, but Martina
They did
had
want it?
Martina said that there wasn't a
Correct.
test justification process.
But in all honesty, the longevity, I mean, how long it's taking, Tommy, you're correct, in regards to streets, but the lateral piece hasn't really been a necessity for streets.
I just want to make,
You're looking at ways to expedite the hiring process, and we've worked with Martina in the past, so we can do that again. I'll get with her to see if there's other things that you guys are willing to work with her in the city on to expedite or keep it open and revolving so that we can limit some of these challenges.
Can you step to the mic?
Sorry, yeah,
Talk louder.
This, so this thinking outside the box and the rule changes through Martina, that was my baby, so I'll take responsibility for anything that goes sideways, but,
it's not that, it's not that, it's just, it's coming to modern hiring practices. And our city is not, we're still back in the 1960s, hiring practices. And we come out of that old buddy system a long time ago, and we're trying to hold on to something now. I just don't know, I just don't know. I don't know the longevity of this board. I really don't. I just don't know. I think, yeah, you need a checks and balances on who you hire and how you hire them, but as many people's come to your department and leave your department, and you're in here all the time needing to rehire. I mean, it's constant. And the fire department's going down that same belt. I know they are.
It's not just us. I mean,
No,
it's
I know. It's
everywhere.
It's across the board.
I know it is. And City of Dayton, I guarantee you, City of Dayton, they have a constant running application for police officers. It never stops. It never stops. How do they certify a test? What
They
certification?
don't, they got rid of their merit
See?
system.
See? I mean, and they do that because there's a public need for the officers in the fire department to be on the job, fully staffed all the time, not holding people back.
That's why we're trying to expedite it and keep list a little open.
I think the word list here is what's the dinosaur. I really do.
I do too.
Because I don't know what we'd be certifying if it's changing. I mean, we certified a list in years past. We would certify a list, and he would have that list for up to a year.
Well, that's because,
Fire department would have that list for up to a year.
because of the number of names that were on it. But we also found on those lists, keeping them a year, by the time we got down so far,
They
they were
weren't
all
worth hiring.
hired, or they weren't worth hiring.
Right, but now we're giving him a list that's got 4 names on it. He doesn't have 10. So he has to keep a list going all the time to,
Or constantly accept applications.
see?
And the thing with that is, people want a job now. They don't want it in 6 months. They want the offer now.
This is the same, this is
not
the
in
same
6
talk I
months.
had on the 1st with the street department. This is the exact same talk I had with them.
If I got, hypothetically, if I got 10 names this month, the month of April, half of them would be disqualified because of background check issues, and half of what's left would have other jobs offers by the end of the month.
And I'm sorry, I don't want to undermine or condescend your expectations of what an officer should be. I don't want you to come down, you know?
No.
I don't want, we've already done
Your
that. Oh my
standards
gosh.
are what needs to be met
Yeah.
here. You know what's going on with police.
So,
You get what you need.
you know, I don't want you to say, well, we can't get these people hired because they got this and this and this wrong with them, so we're gonna accept that from now on. Just like we're not accepting the OPATA no more until later on. You know, before, it had to be
That was a
already done,
requirement.
you know? I mean, can you see each step here that we've done over years past, it just keeps dwindling away, it keeps dwindling away. And I just see it being a nuisance to you.
The old way did delay it too long. If we could get something like we've done this time, monthly basis, keep moving, interview them, background check them, polygraph them, I think that's our ticket to grabbing somebody, getting hooks into somebody, and keeping them interested in our job, not waiting 6 weeks.
See, is that what we do? Now, this is all a big bunch of discussions that we at a later point, but I mean, if we let him do his entire process and then he brings us 10 names, everything's done. Everything's done that he wants. An interview process is done. A background check is done. Polygraph test is done. And then he gets all of those people that he wants, and he brings those 10 names, that highest score, to us, and we certify that. Now you hire off of that. That could roll on forever.
Yeah, well, no. It
Yeah.
wouldn't, because they have it as cutoff date.
Yeah. But I'm saying he could, until he brings us that list to certify, that list could go out, and he needs to hire somebody. That list is right here. He comes to us for certification. He wants this guy off of these 10. We certify these 10, he hires that guy.
Well, he doesn't get 10 people. Because how many were on the list now?
Viable candidates right now, maybe 3 or 4. Entry level. So,
Entry level. That's why I said we could take and certify those 5 names. He could hire somebody off of them. If he doesn't, the list will be dead. If it's an
One-
open application period, go the next month, close it, certify, check those people out. If they're not qualified, terminate the list.
we can continue to brainstorm for the next couple weeks, and maybe someone will have a better method practice
We need a meeting with Martina.
on May 7th.
Right now, we have no list, because we just decertified it. So we
Correct.
have no list for full-time entry police officer. We have no list for full-time police cadet. Is there anything we need to do today to move you forward on either of those? No.
No, sir.
Okay?
Okay.
We're gonna need a list, because you can't make an offer unless you got a certified, right? You've gotta have some official candidates to whom you can make an offer. So we're gonna have a list to certify?
Yes.
On May
How
7th.
soon can we do that for you?
We can have you the list at the next meeting.
Okay.
As soon as Chief's got a list for us, I'm prepared to meet.
Okay.
Do you need a meeting prior to that date? Move on?
I don't think so.
This Friday?
He doesn't need one, he said.
I don't.
Okay.
However soon it can
As soon
be,
as you need it.
I'm available.
As soon as you need a meeting, we can come in. This is not a only 1 month, I mean, we've already been here twice this month.
And we said we would work with any
We'll work with any
department.
department to get you guys what you need.
I'll be here tomorrow if you want.
We're coming to an end of a school year, college and high school, where he needs to be hiring somebody.
I believe you've already been checking this out.
Yep, yes. On a brighter note, we had at least one person sign up for the sergeant's exam who is qualified, meets the qualifications, so we will have that process to do here in a few weeks.
Okay, I don't believe we
So-
have to give a test if it's one.
If, the application process is still open.
Okay,
The last time, we did let one person take the test just to make sure they passed it,
Okay.
but that's a choice for you guys to make. They don't have to do steps 2 and 3,
okay,
if that is the case. But I think the last time you had one person take the test,
okay.
just to make sure they passed.
When does the application period close?
25th.
Of May?
April.
Okay, so that'll be available to us on the 7th also?
Yes.
Okay,
No, the test is in May. So there's some scheduling issues, police
No.
related.
what I meant is we would know who is applying.
Yes,
Okay, how many?
yes.
Okay. Any other business?
She ain't saying nothing.
Happy Easter.
She's like, Craig's taking it all. I'm not doing nothing. Craig, I ain't mad at you. Don't take
will-
this the wrong way. I'm not mad at you at all.
I am not,
I want you guys to get whatever you need whenever you need it. And I'm old school thinking, guys, has got to go away. It's got to go away.
I didn't take it the wrong way. I knew that when we started doing the new practice that it would cause some heartburn and concern in certain areas. But I think it has a potential to continue to work, so. You just need to figure out what we want to do on a monthly basis.
I'm
I think, and I'm not a lawyer, obviously. I think you can certify a process after it is completed. I think we can make conditional offers to people because there's still stages of the background check to be done.
Well, I'm just concerned that if you make an offer to somebody and they accept that offer prior to certification, is that going to be a problem?
I can find that out.
That's one thing, that's one question I have on that. Whereas if you have a list and you make an offer, but at the end of the month, the list is terminated, the offer is still out there, so it's still a valid offer. That's another question I have.
So we've done that in the past, even under the old system, when the closing date of a process was, had come, and we had conditional offers out, those conditional offers are still conditional, valid conditional offers.
Couldn't take them away because the list was finished.
Correct. Nope, we've made the conditional offer and let those people proceed. We've done that even under the old system.
Okay. So basically, it comes down to, if the application list is open for 6 months, we could certify the names for a month, and then the list is done at the end of the month, if you haven't made an offer. Well, that's something else to iron out.
Happy
Thank you.
Easter.
Meeting adjourned at 9:41.
Thanks.